Welcome to the K Factor podcast, where we turn up the heat on all things fire protection. Brought to you by the American Fire Sprinkler Association, this podcast sparks conversations about the latest technology, trends, and tools shaping the industry. Join the AFSA tech team as we fan the flames of innovation in fire safety.
Welcome to another episode of the K Factor podcast. We've got an exciting group in, and too many for me to intro, so we'll just let you all do the intro. Oh, you got voluntold, dude.
I guess. I'm Logan Taylor. This is my father, Gene, right here.
I'm Gene Taylor with Brendle Sprinkler Company. I'm the Vice President of Field Operations out of Montgomery, Alabama.
That's a promotion I didn't know about. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, he's awesome. Hunter Brendle out of Brendle Sprinkler, president and on the board. And this is my son, Fish.
My name is Fisher Brendle. I'm this guy's son. He's not very handsome, of course, but
It skips a generation, is that what you're saying?
He's also adopted. Glad to be here.
Yeah, awesome. So you came into town for a game, and let's start with Fish. You were playing around that lab. What'd you see out there, dude?
this nice little K34, my favorite.
Okay.
Sprays a lot of the room, you know.
You like fire sprinklers?
It's kind of interesting to me.
Yeah. What's so interesting about them?
Just the fact that just a lot of water can cover a room in just a small amount of time.
A lot of water we sprayed. Also got that hydrant. You think it's turning that hydrant so hard?
Not really.
No.
That wasn't what it looked like. That man
Sure was struggling.
So when you like overall, you've also been in the industry for a little bit. How long you been in?
Just for the summer, about 2-3 months.
2-3 months. What were you doing? What'd you think?
Basically, doping and taping.
Open and taping. That's a shout out to Bobby and Brian.
that intro helper position.
Just threading pipe. Do what I'm told. It was pretty fun. Kind of hot.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
People are always interesting. So
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I guess it's an easy segue. What do you think about the next generation coming in? And how do we get more people involved?
Well, I think experience is, if we can get them in the door, that's a problem. But I've always loved the construction field due to the personalities you come across. I mean, you can meet some of the greatest people in the world that are in the construction industries, from ductmen to electricians to stud wall guys or anything, and get to have kind of a repertoire with them. And you see them on more jobs and more jobs, and it actually makes jobs, to me, more enjoyable to go out there. And, construction can be fun and cut up. I know you got to get work done, but I've always liked the personalities more than any of it. And it's always good, especially in our industry, where when you run pipe and you can turn around at the end of the day and you say, man, we put work in and it looks pretty, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I enjoy that part of it. So that's what we're trying to teach young guys coming out of high school, to come in, learn your basics, put your work in, but still enjoy your surroundings, and cut up and have fun a little bit, so it's good stuff.
Yeah.
And for them, we've had some younger ones that have got to see things that their friends hadn't been able to see. It's he'll be able to go back home and be like, man, I went to the Auburn Baylor game. I got to see the game, but then I got to go in and operate sprinklers. And then kids are going to ask questions about sprinklers. And we had some instances the past year where we got to have Gene went and did a show at elementary school, and we built this redneck. We're from Alabama. I don't think we said that earlier, but we built this redneck kit. But it was awesome, where we set off sprinkler heads, and kids got to watch them and see actually how they operate. And those kids will remember things like that. They'll remember things like that. And so your question about how to get the next generation involved, I think AFSA has done, and this is a shameless plug, shout out to y'all, but y'all have done a great thing. Linda Breezy, that's been one of her focal points. And, how we can get into the schools and into the situations to where we can actually start to explain what this industry is about. And people know electric, they know HVAC, they know different things like that, like those things, but they don't really know. Don't look up and say, all right, that's a sprinkler head. They now know at 13 and 18 years old, and I think that the more people get to see it and the more, things like y'all do with the podcast and the more podcasts are out there and TikToks and Instagrams and these things where people actually come across their page and they say, what is this? Then there starts to be some follow-up questions. So I think, majority of the time it's family that, somebody, and that's how you get in. And how can we make it more attractive to where, this age group says, man, that was cool. I got to meet Big Nate. I got, Nate Dogg. I got to meet Nate. I got to meet Josh. I got to meet Bob and got to putt in his office. But that was all great. But let me tell you about this thing that I saw that could save my house, that could save my life, that could save other people. Those things matter. How can I install, a fire department? And so I think little things like that, just information as it continues to grow and get legs and get involvement. And Logan had one of his friends that came and worked with us this summer that had no clue about what a sprinkler was. He worked for this summer. He may come back at Christmas. He may turn around and run.
Right.
But he got to come experience and get on a job site, see what actually happens. That it's not just, Bob always makes a joke, just put the pipe, turn it to the right.
Yeah.
But there's so much, that is, but like Gene just said, you got to see the end result of saying, I possibly put something in that helps save somebody's life. That's pretty daggum cool. So that's how I hope that we continue to get to them, is just continue to get information to them the best we can. Your little book, little things that people can see that you don't think really is going to influence somebody, but you influence one person. We saw it with Nelson Mandela. You influence one person. How many people can get impacted by that one person?
Logan, did you talk to your friend at all about his experience?
I tried, but I don't think he liked the work.
Yeah.
I think he was scared of it.
Fair enough. It's hard work.
Yeah.
It's hard work. Did you get to see any cool sites? That's what I love about our industry. You go from a chicken murdering facility, as Bob says, right? You go to a butchering place to
I mean, not really. I
No.
mean, I stayed on basically one building, the AFSA State House. I mean, it was still fun though.
Yeah.
They tried to teach me Spanish, but I ain't too good about that.
So Logan got to be on a job. We've had a guy that's been with us for 37 years. And what's cool is Gene was his helper at one point. I was his helper at one point. Logan was his helper this summer. My brother was his helper. And so they were on this, 300,000 square foot, 7-story building that he got to kind of see get constructed and just, that history alone, that three of us, hopefully maybe one day if he stays, his hip's bothering. Shout out to Marvin. But hopefully that maybe, he'll be around in 5 years and Fish gets to be his helper. So he'll say he'll retire before that happens. But so yeah, Logan got to be on a pretty cool job site this summer that kind of got to see some interesting things as it got constructed. So,
you gonna stay in, or do you not know yet?
Hopefully stay in.
Yeah. You like it enough to stay in?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. But it just depends how school goes.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I was gonna say, Jane's had some conversations with him, and there's and congratulations to you on FPE, and there's some things that they can do that can really impact this industry, and that's the FPE route's something that I think could attract both of them. So
it's an easy orange transition if you go to Oklahoma State.
we
had
that conversation.
We've already talked about it.
He wants to go to Auburn.
Yeah, for sure.
But consider other schools. You never know. So I think you asked off the air earlier about what attracted him to the job, and he said money.
Yeah.
But money's great, but sometimes like the apprenticeship program that through AFSA offers that Brendle allows. Money helps too with that. Sure. The more levels you pass, Brendle offers more compensation for it, so that works good. And really, with the industry, just in my knowledge, the sky's the limit. If you'll just get out there, put your nose down, and work and study and do what you're supposed to do, you can go places in this industry right now. So that's great.
One of the few industries I think that the harder you work, the more the outcome is. You can work hard and get that reward. I don't think many industries are like that anymore.
When I was 20 years old, so 20 plus years ago, I was at a job with Gene in Enterprise working with him. And it was probably, he did fire me. But it was one where you talk about just hard work and all of those things. It was one where I walked in and just a day with him, I was like, I hope he sticks around, because he'll be somebody in the future that will be huge. And then years later, we met on the back of a loading dock, and I just had the conversation. It was like, and now that I'm in here, I'm just want to remind you of that conversation. And now he worked through it, and then came in as a super, and now he's running the field operations. And last night, Fish and I were having a conversation. He was asking about some guy. We got a guy that's been with us 54 years, and
Wow.
he was asking the question about that, like, how was he when you were growing up? I was like, he was great, and he was like, who do you think might be that person for me? And we just had those conversations. So conversations are starting to happen. And it's a neat thing as the hard work, and we got a bunch of guys that are doing it, and a lot of our guys that have been in positions have been guys that have hung pipe and that have come up, and like I said, we got guys from 54 years to 4 months, and 54-year guy, he keeps going and going to job sites, and he eats it up and loves it, and you can imagine doing this for 54 years. You gotta love it, and somebody like that to do it for that long, it shows how impactful this business and these people in this industry can be.
How do you think you manage, or how are you able to keep people for so long? That's really impressive for people to be around for a long time.
My answer would be it's more a family oriented company.
Yeah.
We get to know each other, actually have things off the job site, know the family, and I think that's how, to me, in my opinion, would be. It's more family oriented. So I enjoy the people around me. I enjoy the people working with me, all the supervisors, the foremans, the helpers. You get to know them all by name, and for me personally, that's what I think it is.
Yeah.
Mom and dad, I think it's such a testament to them. So I'm third generation. Granddad started it. 1960 is when we started, and in '76 there's a friendly separation. One took the fab, one took the install. And mom and dad invested so much into the people. It was, we do a big Christmas every year, and we'll cater all the food in and cook, and we get presents for all the employees' kids. And there was a time where it was, dad was striving to say if the company does well, then I want my employees to do well, because without the employees, they're in the company. And so he invests. They just did so much to try and make everyone understand that. It wasn't an owner in a company, but it was we're all owners in this, and how can we make sure that we do the best for everybody, and everybody will reap the rewards. And they did an excellent job in setting a standard, and it was such an easy standard for me to step in and follow. Just treat everybody with respect, love on them, get to know names, know kids' names. I mean, you could graduations. They'd go to graduations from employees' kids, and I think that helped. So we've got 2 50-year guys. We probably have about 6 40-year guys. And I'd say it's partly because of the mom and dad and how they do things and how they started it. And then B, I think it's the people inside the company. When you have good people, it attracts good people.
Right.
And I think that the ways that they surrounded themselves with other people in the industry, it is a family, and we go on trips together. We have our Alabama Association meeting coming up in September, and most everybody will get in their individual hotel rooms. We don't. We get a big old house, and we put 40 of us in there. And it is the most chaotic, fun weekend of your life, because it's you're getting to hang out with wives and kids, and not many play. You go in there you work. I tell Bethany all the time, which is my wife, that you spend more time with your work family than you do your home family. Sure. And for us to be able to take that and then go on the road and then not be sick of each other, it just plays a huge role in I think keeping people happy. And then I think the industry, you don't get burnt out on it. I know that there's some people that it can get tiresome at times, but when you have an industry that's as impactful as this one, I think it also keeps you interested every day, where it's like it's a new, exciting day. It's like the Truman Show when he wakes up. It wasn't the same repetitive thing. It was something exciting and new every day. So I think that's pretty key.
Like you mentioned earlier, swapping jobs. You're on a job for 6 months and you get to go, and the next job may be 3-4 weeks, and you get to go to another job. So you actually do have a good change of scenery. You may be in a motel, maybe in a parking deck, maybe in an office building, maybe in a battery plant. It's all kind of different industries you get to sprinkle. So it does. You see a lot of pretty neat stuff out there in these buildings. So I think that's something that's good.
Another
folks.
always fresh, always something different.
Exactly right.
Yeah, different technology.
Thinking about the Airbnb comment you made about 40 people, if you have 40 of them, who's usually the one chefing it up? whenever you guys are all together?
Who's the one that's doing what?
All the cooking.
Oh no, man, we lazy. No. We walk right next door to a restaurant. We'll all sit down. No, there was our old Huntsville guy who retired. His wife will always bring some stuff. She'll bring some cookies and some other stuff like that. But no, we get down there. I mean, you got class from 8, to 8 to 5, and then you get this, and so it's. You do breakfast on the way to class, you do dinner at night, but we will do that. We'll go out, all of us and all the family, and we'll get we out and eat all together. And most of the time it's going out and eating. Ain't nobody cooking around there.
Now, I'll beg to differ. We have coffee in the morning,
Yeah.
and especially at night too. We'll have snacks and drinks and stuff like that. And he brought, table tennis stuff, or we have cards, or play spoons. And you have Logan, who's 18, and Fish, who's 10, 12?
Jeez, 13.
13, not bad. So,
Man.
13 and a half.
but I mean, just my kid and his kids playing together, me and Hunter playing together, and then you have all other families around. And again, you build kind of like a family bond, and it's very fun, interesting. And we had a young man, Dustin Green, his son Bennett, who's a little bitty, get down in the floor and play cars with him. He's that small, you know what I mean? So it's good.
But it's it's exposing them to what this industry is too.
That's
I mean,
right.
it's just little things. I mean, even at the Christmas time, we'll have 250, 300 people in there at the office, and it's probably I have probably 2 favorite days of the year. One is when we get to hand out bonuses, and then the Christmas party. I'll make people sing either we do it at July or Christmas, and I'll make them sing either patriotic songs or Christmas songs, and they hate it, but they love it. I think they just hate it. They just act like they love it to appease me. But watching all those kids come in, all the kids will come in and unwrap Christmas presents and do these little things, and it's just you get to know everybody's kids really, really well, and it's just like I said, they get to come in, they'll hear a little bit about it, they get to see employees come up and get plaques, and it's a finding a way to just little things. If maybe there's one thing that sticks in their mind, but so yeah.
You mentioned something that just makes it truly feel genuine in terms of the family orientation, and that's when you said that you had 40 people in a house and it's chaotic. That's family, right? So like when it's just it's a beautiful mess.
That's that Home Alone
Yeah.
right before going to New York type atmosphere. Who got the cheese pizza?
That's right. That's when you hear the youngins screaming and crying, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I thought my youngins outgrew this, but I mean it now. But it's fun.
Yeah. What made you after your time with your company even be interested in serving an association or getting involved?
So
'Cause you got a lot going on.
Yeah. So growing up, when I was 18, Dad would have us work every summer, and because of the people is what brought me into the industry. And then same thing, Dad said, all right, if you're going to do it, let's do it the right way, and you're going to get involved in the local association. So I got involved in Alabama, which was the start piece of it, and just got on a board, and slowly got involved in some different things, and then became the track, got on the treasurer, and then kept moving up. And at first when I got involved, it was because Daddy said so.
Right.
But then when I got in, I was like, man, there's a whole lot to this that I don't really see. And it was first you would get to go to these things and go to these places, and you could go out to the bar and have fun and do the different things that as a 24, 25-year-old that I was loving, heck, as a 43-year-old. As a 43-year-old. But it was like, man, I could do this because I enjoy the social aspect. That's what got me in it, was the social aspect of doing the other things. And then I was at as I was on the Alabama chapter, a guy asked me if I wanted to be on Next Gen. He said he was getting ready to roll off, and asked if I wanted to roll in. And I think that was maybe in San Diego. I can't remember eating dinner, but he was. That's just how it started. And I said, I don't. What's the requirements? That's the first thing. What do I have to do? And well, you could make. We wanted you to try and make 1 or 2 a year, and then you can figure out the rest. Because same thing, I was just really getting involved, running. A little bit of stepping in to run the company as Dad was slowing down a little bit. And I went to my first meeting in Boston. I will never forget it.
Get some chowder.
Oh my gosh, it was great. It's probably the best first spot that you could have for a meeting. And I walked into this room, and the only person that I knew was Ralph Watson. And I walk in and I look, and there's Wayne and Linda and all these people that when I would go to these conventions that you would see every year, that you just were like, "Ugh," as I walk by, and you're just like, your breath would catch. And I've been going to them forever. And I remember sitting at a table making a joking comment about my wife and her spending, and Miss Linda, who I'd never met, grabbed my hand and told me how important my wife was to this industry. And I looked at her and I was like, we're going to be best friends. And when I left that meeting, I mean, that was when I met Katie. That was when I met Linda. That was when I left there, I said, I don't know if I just want to have to come to two. I got to come in and I got to understand and see the different side that I hadn't seen before. But I got to come in and say, man, I learned some things that I can take back to the company that can make things better. I can also take things back that I can be a better leader that I've learned. I said, I don't want it just to have to come. So I want to get involved in the next step. So then, as Miss Linda Breezy got in, which is Bernanke. Sorry, that's what I call her. I don't know. For professional, Miss Linda Bernanke, chairwoman, Miss Linda Bernanke. So as next gen, and I got more plugged in and got to know some more people, then I got on another committee, and then I got on another committee. And I remember in San Antonio, I can't know, it may not have been San Antonio. I can't remember which one it was, where when Mike Meehan came up and was talking to me about if I wanted to be on the board of directors. And I remember when he asked me the question, I was so taken aback that some little local boy from Montgomery, Alabama, who just decided to get on a committee was getting to ask to be on something I had seen for the last 15, 20 years at conventions. And I remember going to my dad because him and mom were such a big part of my life. And I remember as I told him what happened, just crying on the phone. I mean, just the emotions that came over, just telling them of what just happened. All of that to say, when you talk about what made me want to get involved and how it's still just it goes back to the same answers we've discussed, the impact that you can have on people, the decisions that you can make that hopefully can change lives, being able to provide for them that maybe they want to come in and get this industry. And, I tell people all the time that I meet when I go to these conventions, and I've done some of these seminars, like, if I can do it, like, there's so much opportunity. Gene just said it. Gene now, who 8 years ago was still, hanging pipe, and last year he judged the apprenticeship competition.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Where I first met Nate.
It's just these little things that you can do as you kind of come and step in and see how much of an impact you can make. So I love it. I hope that I get to do it for a while. And a lot of it was when I was asked, and I was like, well, the first thing I need to do is check with, I want to make sure that the company, because it does require some time, and I don't want to act like it doesn't. I mean, it's like you just said, you got a lot of things going on. And as I had to get pulled away a little bit, you had to have others that have stepped up, and every single person in that office was all for it. And like, no, man, this is an honor. And it doesn't say Hunters on the, I mean, it's our company. Like, our company, it's us who's on that thing and who's represented and gets a little bit more notoriety, to where people get to hear stories about our superintendent of 54 years. Like, today, people are gonna be like, man, they got 54 years, and I'll get to show him. And different things and different avenues have been created by just saying, yes, let me step out of my comfort zone a little bit and do some things. So I've loved it. I encourage anybody that, to get involved in because once again, it all started at the local chapter. It didn't start where I just came out and this big broad and just came into this national scene. I got involved locally. How can I help out locally? How can I get on committees locally? Same thing with Gene. How can I get on and be an impact, in my city? Then that I can impact my county. Then I can impact my state. Then I can impact the Southeast, and then the country. And then what can I do? But you got to start. You got to start in a small proximity, and then see where it goes from there.
What'd you think about the apprenticeship competition and judging that? What was that like?
That is really, bottom line, is awesome. First time I've saw the whole, the build and the plan, and how these young men come in, and, the judges ain't really allowed to help, just kind of guide a little bit here and there, and they have to read the plans, the ups and downs, the type of hangers, the type of heads. And I thought that was very, very interesting, and I think it's a great competition. And it ain't always about speed because I know last year we had one man who I was really impressed with. He knocked it out, but there was another man who was at the very end and he ended up winning the thing. But it's not just your ability to work, it's also your knowledge of the book. So they both go hand in hand. So I thought really, really interesting event. It really was. So
Awesome. So what class of apprenticeship competitor are you, Fish? Right? Class of, when are you going to be up there?
Probably the highest level.
Yeah. You're going to win it all 2-3 times in a row. That's awesome. So a couple fun questions before we wrap this thing up. Big Auburn fans.
Yeah.
Is there a Auburn tradition, if you could bring it into the fire protection industry, what would the Auburn tradition be?
There a firewall, like a tiger walk?
Man, that would be awesome. Like, I'm gonna give a shout out to 3 of them. We got 3 awesome.
Okay.
We got a bunch, but I'm gonna focus on 3. At the beginning of the game, we have something called Tiger Walk. And it's where, and I'm sure every different universities do it differently, but the buses pull up and they have an alleyway lined up all the way to the stadium, and there's people cheering on the side and they walk. What if we had like an apprentice walk where we line up and these apprentices walk through and we're cheering them on as they walk into battle, getting ready to go into the station, and everybody just lined up. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Number 2 is we had the Eagle Fly. Right before the game, we sang the national anthem, and then all of a sudden that eagle comes out and flies around, and everybody's just going hyped up. If we could somehow, maybe we get one of Jay Strickland's pets involved, do something. It doesn't, what's he have? He calls it a lima, or I don't even remember what he calls, where he combines, who knows what he does, but he's got so many animals that he just makes up. Like Noah's Ark, he just went in there and just started picking animals off and breeding them. So we have the eagle, and then the third we roll toilet paper trees. So maybe at the end of something we can bring out some toilet paper and roll something at convention. I don't know if it's
fun.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't enjoy throwing toilet paper? Like, when's the last time you rolled a house as
we
a
could
child?
use Teflon tape.
Yeah.
Teflon tape.
It's gonna make so many significant others mad because it's gonna end up in the washing machine.
Yeah, don't you remember rolling trees? Did y'all roll? I mean, over here, y'all
We
rolled
did
houses.
eggs.
You did
Yeah,
eggs?
Northeast.
Yeah.
I shouldn't admit that out loud, but
Yeah.
we were more
We
egg
did,
throwers.
we did toilet paper, and we would put, you'd fork people's yards with them, and then saran wrap cars. But no, those are our 3 big ones. Our 3 big ones at Auburn are the toilet paper, the Tiger Walk, and the Eagle Flying are just.
Right when they come out on the field, they always have the smoke and the sparks.
Yeah.
Maybe we have the K-25 heads go off.
I'm trying to drown everybody.
Well, they have it just far enough apart so
Okay.
they don't get wet.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We could play swag surf at we could once at the general session, and just start swag surfing, and we can, because we do that in the 4th quarter. It's awesome.
I don't want anybody, pass out trying to swag surf.
Man, could you imagine Donnie K sitting up there next to Bob Caputo and me on the other side, and them 3 just swag surfing up in
I
there?
think we're gonna have to explain the concept to them first.
Oh, that would take long.
We're gonna have to have doctors on hand for sure.
Yeah.
Medics.
Oh, and I'd probably be one of these one of them. So yeah, those would be it.
This will probably be released after the game, but we got to get it on record. Score prediction. We're going right down the table. See who gets closest. Maybe we'll send some swag your way.
Who's first?
Baylor, Auburn.
You got it.
I'll start it. Okay, I got Auburn winning 35-17.
Okay.
24-7. Auburn.
24-7. I'm going 31-21 because I think there's going, and it may be a little higher than that, but
Let's
Like
go.
it.
I think both offenses are going to be pretty strong.
28, 24, Auburn.
Auburn.
Yeah.
So no Baylor.
No Baylor.
No.
I mean, 2.5
All
point
right.
line means it could go either way, but
We'll see.
we'll see what happens. We're coming in, we coming over to Tejas and see what
Going
happens.
to make a statement. That's the
Yeah.
We got we got one of our kids that's from their town that Logan played football with. Y'all watch him.
Yeah.
15, Keldrick Falk. He's gonna be out there tonight. And
little brother.
and his brother, but
JJ.
JJ, but
What
they
position?
Keldrick's in.
defensive end line.
Okay.
Keldrick is projected like a top 15 pick next year.
Let's
So
go.
he and we've been we want to get him on some NIL stuff at some point.
Yeah.
We got to give him a hat and give him a little sprinkler, let him come out. Maybe we can get him an ESFR doing like in an Auburn
That's right.
uniform, just twirling around.
Yeah. Bring him down to the lab and get a photo shoot in.
That's right.
Be
That'd be
fun.
That'd be awesome.
Then kind of a fun one. If you were a type of sprinkler, what sprinkler would you be and why? And I think Fish has this one lined up, right?
K34.
Big guns.
What you got, Logan?
I don't know. I don't know. Probably one of the bigger ones, probably.
Okay.
I like to make a statement.
Do you? You've been awfully quiet this trip, though.
Because I don't know y'all yet.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
You always got to watch the quiet one.
That's right. It's all big family. As soon as you said you've been hanging and banging for the summer, you're in a big family. Nationwide, dude.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of simple, just a 5'6", 200-degree white semi-recessed.
Okay.
That thing can go anywhere. It's universal.
Yeah.
And, that's what,
And looks good while you're doing it.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's me.
Like it.
I think I'd be the painted sprinkler head that got brought back to the shop. Like there was a purpose.
Yeah.
You had a purpose. You had some obstacles in your way. And now you have a choice. Like we can either put you back in the box or we can try and get you replaced and see if you can go back out and live your life.
And you'll probably work.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're really,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
You'll
I'm
probably do
also
fine.
leaning on like my brethren. Like I'm looking around like,
Is
hey,
it-
other sprinkler heads, can you help out?
That's
So I
fantastic.
think that's what I'd be. I'd be a painted sprinkler head. Maybe with a little bit of a bent, deflector. Maybe. Possibly. We'll see.
Yeah. You've been thrown in the bucket.
That's right.
The
That's
bucket
right.
after
I'm
that.
probably in the rusted sprinkler head that got brought back in the bottom of the bucket.
That's a good
That's what my
spot.
dad would say.
Yeah. But there's room for that. ITVs.
Yeah, yeah.
There's plenty of.
Yeah, just taking a scrapyard.
That's
Make it get paid off somehow.
Well, awesome. We really appreciate y'all coming out and appreciate our listeners. You can find us. This is going to be the first one with our new camera on YouTube. Not sure quite when it's going to release, but catch us at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, and we'll catch you on the next one. This has been the Cape Factor Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share wherever you tune in to podcasts, or head over to our website for more. Reach out to us anytime at technical@firesprinkler.org. Stay safe and always learn as we keep the fire protection conversation going.